Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins everyone. If you're into coin collecting or just love the idea of finding hidden treasures in your spare change, this video is one you don't want to miss. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1967 Washington quarter dollar. It may look like an ordinary coin, but there's a rare version of this quarter that has shocked collectors with its value. Believe it or not, some examples of the 1967 quarter have been sold or valued at up to $1.8 million. Yes, one coin, worth more than a luxury home, all because of a small minting detail. We're going to explore the history, the special errors, and how you can tell if the quarter in your drawer might just be worth a fortune. Let's get into it. The history of the Washington quarter. To understand why the 1967 quarter is important, we need to talk briefly about the Washington quarter series. First introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the Washington quarter was designed by John Flanagan. It featured Washington's profile on the front and an eagle on the back. For decades, it was one of the most used coins in circulation and became an iconic piece of American coinage. By 1965, the U.S. Mint made a major change to its coins. Because of rising silver prices and widespread hoarding, the government stopped using silver in dimes and quarters. Before that, quarters were made of 90% silver. Starting in 1965, they switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition, which is what most people are familiar with today. The 1967 quarter came out right in the middle of this big change. Why 1967 is a unique year for quarters. The year 1967 was not just any year for the mint. From 1965 through 1967, the U.S. Mint suspended the use of mint marks on coins to discourage coin hoarding. So if you look at a 1967 quarter, you'll notice there's no mint mark on it, even though it was still struck at various mint locations. This was part of the mint's efforts to restore trust in circulating coinage and reduce speculation. On top of that, no proof coins were officially issued for circulation in 1967. Instead, the mint created something called special mint sets. These sets were better than normal uncirculated coins but not as high quality as full-proof coins. That's a key detail because some of the rarest and most valuable 1967 quarters come from errors or unusual characteristics within these special mint sets. What makes the 1967 quarter so valuable? Now let's talk money. Why would someone pay up to $1.8 million for a 1967 quarter? It all comes down to a combination of rarity, condition, and minting errors. The most valuable 1967 quarters are not your everyday coins. These are coins that have been graded in near perfect condition or display highly unusual and rare errors. Some of the most famous and valuable include coins with double die obverse errors, off-center strikes, or full-step details in the design. These coins are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. In one extraordinary case, a 1967 quarter graded at the absolute highest level, known as MS-68 or higher, with an unusual and nearly flawless finish, sold for a staggering $1.8 million. This kind of price is driven not just by rarity, but by competitive collectors who are willing to pay a premium for the best of the best. Minting errors that add big value. There are several types of mint errors that can drastically increase the value of a 1967 quarter. Let's go over a few that you should look out for. First is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once in slightly misaligned positions. This causes the text, date, or a design to appear doubled. On a 1967 quarter, this might be visible on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date itself. Another rare error is an off-center strike. If the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting, part of the design might be missing or pushed toward one edge. The more off-center the strike without losing the key design elements, the more valuable it can be. Then there's the transitional error. While the U.S. Mint had already moved away from silver by 1967, there were occasional mistakes where the wrong plan kit was used. If a 1967 quarter was struck on a leftover silver blank or any other wrong metal, it could be worth a fortune. And finally, look out for full strike details. Some 1967 quarters from the special mint sets have extremely sharp and detailed designs, especially in the eagle's feathers on the reverse side. These coins, when preserved in flawless condition, are often the ones that get the highest grades and biggest prices at auction. How to tell if your 1967 quarter is valuable? If you have a 1967 quarter at home, how do you know if it's worth anything? Start by checking its condition. A worn, scratched, or heavily circulated quarter is probably worth face value. But if the coin looks almost new, with a bright, reflective surface and no visible wear, it could be worth something. Next, examine it closely for doubling. Use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to inspect the letters and numbers. If they appear to be doubled or have unusual shadows or outlines, that might be a double die error. Also check if the coin appears off-center or has any odd marks, misalignment, or unusual metal coloring. If the coin looks like it might have been struck incorrectly or on the wrong material, that's a good sign. If your coin seems unusual in any way or is in exceptional condition, it's a smart idea to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate your coin, assign it a grade, and certify its authenticity. This is important if you plan to sell or insure the coin. Where to sell a rare 1967 quarter? So let's say you do have a rare 1967 quarter. Where do you go from there? There are a few options. Reputable coin dealers can help you understand your coin's value. Make sure you choose a certified or well-known dealer with a strong reputation. You can also go through major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. These places specialize in high-value coins and can get your rare 1967 quarter in front of serious collectors who are willing to bid big. If you prefer selling online, you can try platforms like eBay, but make sure the coin is professionally graded and photographed well. Buyers of expensive coins want assurance of authenticity, and a certified grading can make all the difference. Conclusion. So there you have it. The 1967 Washington quarter dollar might seem like an ordinary coin, but in rare cases, it can be worth an incredible amount of money, even as high as $1.8 million. These are the kinds of treasures that make coin collecting so exciting. You never know what could be hiding in your change jar, your old coin rolls, or that drawer you haven't checked in years. Remember, the key to finding one of these gems is paying attention to the details. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, unusual finishes, or flawless condition. And if you think you've got something special, don't wait to get it evaluated by a professional and find out what it's really worth. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more content about valuable coins, hidden treasures, and amazing stories from the world of numismatics, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Good luck out there, and happy coin hunting. Outro. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and maybe one day you'll find a coin worth $1 million in your pocket. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. If you're a coin collector, a history enthusiast, or just someone who loves finding out about valuable coins, you're in for a treat today. In this video, we're diving deep into a special coin from the 1960s and the 1966 Washington quarter dollar. You might be wondering, what's so special about a coin from 1966? Well, hold on to your seats because this particular quarter could be worth up to $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.7 million. In this video, we'll explore the history, the value, and why this particular coin could be sitting in your pocket change, ready to make you a fortune. Let's get started. A brief history of the Washington quarter. Before we get into the specifics of the 1966 Washington quarter, let's take a moment to appreciate the history of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by artist John Flanagan, the coin features a portrait of George Washington on the obverse, front, and an eagle on the reverse, back. The design has remained mostly unchanged over the decades, making it one of the most recognizable and beloved coins in U.S. currency. Over the years, the coin has undergone some design updates, especially on the reverse side. but the obverse with Washington's portrait has remained iconic. The quarter has always played an important role in American coinage, and it continues to circulate today. By the time 1966 rolled around, the Washington quarter had already become a staple in American daily life. The 1966 Washington quarter dollar, the key year. Now let's get to the heart of today's video, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar. On the surface, the 1966 quarter may not seem any different from the many other quarters produced in the 1960s, but there's a particular aspect of this coin that makes it extremely rare and valuable. To understand what sets the 1966 Washington quarter apart, it's important to remember that coin production wasn't always perfect. During the minting process, mistakes happen. These minting errors are often the key to a coin's value. The 1966 Washington quarter is most notable for the proof versions that were struck during this year, some of which were mistakenly released into circulation. What makes the 1966 proof quarters so valuable is the mintage error that occurred. Unlike regular circulation quarters, which were meant to be produced in bulk for everyday transactions, proof coins were specially made for collectors. Proof coins are carefully struck, have a shiny mirror-like finish, and are typically much more refined than coins meant for circulation. The fact that some proof 1966 quarters ended up being mistakenly released into the public is what makes them so rare and valuable today. The rare error. 1966 proof quarters in circulation. So why are these 1966 proof quarters worth so much money? Let's break it down. Typically, proof coins are only made for coin collectors and are sold in proof sets. However, in 1966, some of the proof quarters were accidentally released into circulation. These coins were not intended for general use, and they were much more refined than regular circulation quarters. Because proof coins were handled with care and were not meant to be in circulation, they were often in pristine condition when they were released, which is a huge factor in their value. The proof error coins are incredibly rare, since they were never meant to be part of the regular coin supply. Only a small number of them made it into circulation, and even fewer have survived in mint condition. When these coins are found, collectors will often pay top dollar for them, especially if the coin is in unblemished or near-perfect condition. This rarity and the unique story behind these coins is what drives their value. Some of these 1966 proof quarters have sold for as much as $1.7 million, depending on the condition and rarity. Of course, most of these coins won't fetch such an astronomical price, but they can still be worth tens of thousands of dollars, especially if they're in exceptional condition. What makes the 1966 proof quarter so valuable? Now, you might be wondering, why are these 1966 proof quarters so valuable? The answer lies in several key factors. 1. Rarity. Since only a small number of proof coins were accidentally released into circulation, these coins are very rare. The 1966 proof quarter was never meant to be used for everyday transactions, and most were either destroyed or hoarded by collectors. The ones that made it onto circulation are incredibly hard to find. 2. Condition. Proof coins are made with a higher level of craftsmanship than regular circulation coins. As a result, these coins often have a mirror-like finish and sharper details. The fact that these coins were circulated means that many of them have some wear or damage, but those that have survived in near-perfect condition are highly valuable. 3. Historical significance. The 1966 proof quarters are a unique piece of history. They were produced during a period of significant change in the U.S. Mint, and the fact that a mistake like this was made makes these coins a significant part of numismatic history. Collectors and investors are always looking for coins with historical importance, and the 1966 proof error is a great example of that. 4. Market demand. As with any collectible, the value of a coin is influenced by market demand. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for rare, error coins, and the 1966 proof quarters are highly sought after. The high demand for these coins, combined with their rarity and condition, has led to the extremely high prices they fetch at auction. How to identify a 1966 proof quarter. If you think you might have a 1966 proof quarter on your hands, here's how you can identify it. 1. Look for a mirror-like finish. Proof coins are known for their shiny, mirror-like finish, which is different from the typical matte finish of regular circulation coins. The surface of the coin should have a reflective quality, and you should be able to see your reflection in the surface of the coin. 2. Examine the coin closely. Proof coins are made with special care, so their details will be much sharper than those of regular circulation coins. Look for sharp edges, detailed features, and a clean, clear design. 3. Inspect the date and mint mark. On the 1966 Washington quarter, the date will be 1966, and the mint mark will be a D, for Denver. Proof coins will typically have a mirror finish on the obverse and reverse sides. 4. Condition matters. If the coin looks like it has been well preserved and shows no signs of wear or damage, it could be a valuable proof quarter. The condition of the coin is crucial in determining its value. Coins in mint state condition will fetch the highest prices. Where to sell a 1966 proof quarter? If you happen to find a 1966 proof quarter that you believe could be worth a lot of money, there are several ways to sell it. You can take it to a reputable coin dealer who specializes in rare coins. Another option is to sell it at coin auctions, where collectors often pay top dollar for valuable pieces. Heritage auctions, for example, is known for handling high-value coins and has auctioned off rare 1966 proof quarters for substantial amounts of money. Online marketplaces, like eBay, can also be a good place to sell, but make sure to provide clear photos and accurate descriptions of the coin's condition and rarity. If you're unsure about the coin's value, consider getting it graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, as this will give you a clearer idea of its value and increase buyer confidence. Conclusion. To sum up, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar is far more than just another coin. Due to the proof error that occurred in 1966, these quarters are incredibly rare, and they can be worth up to $1.7 million if you find one in mint condition. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a casual enthusiast, the 1966 proof quarter is definitely a coin to keep an eye out for. If you think you've found one of these valuable coins, make sure to get it professionally graded and consider selling it through a reputable dealer or auction house. This could be your chance to own a piece of history and potentially make a significant profit. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more videos on rare and valuable coins. Good luck with your coin hunting, and until next time. Outro. Take care, everyone, and happy collecting. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating and valuable coins out there, the 1995 Washington quarter dollar. While most of us are used to seeing these coins in our change, there's a rare version of this coin that can be worth a staggering $1.2 million or more. If you're a coin collector, a history buff, or just someone who loves learning about the hidden treasures that could be sitting in your wallet, then this video is for you. Let's take a closer look at the history, the value, and the story behind the 1995 Washington quarter dollar. The history of the Washington quarter. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1995 quarter, let's take a quick trip through time to understand the background of the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by artist John Flanagan, the coin features George Washington's portrait on the obverse, the front, and an eagle on the reverse, the back. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, making the Washington quarter one of the most recognizable and beloved coins in the U.S. Since its introduction, the Washington quarter has gone through a few changes in design, particularly with the reverse side, but the overall structure and George Washington's portrait have remained consistent. It has been used as a staple in American currency for decades, both for everyday transactions and in the world of coin collecting. The 1995 Washington quarter dollar, a coin of interest. Now, let's get into the heart of today's topic: the 1995 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this coin might seem just like any other quarter, but there's an incredibly rare and valuable version of the 1995 that has caught the attention of coin collectors. investors, and numismatists around the world. So, what makes this quarter so special? In 1995, the U.S. Mint produced billions of quarters. The D Mint mark on the coin signifies that it was struck at the Denver Mint. But in a very small percentage of these quarters, something went wrong during the minting process. Some of the 1995 Washington quarters were struck with a double die obverse, which means the coin was struck more than once, creating a doubling effect on the design. What this means for collectors is that the coin has a misaligned die, causing the features of George Washington's portrait and the inscriptions on the coin to appear doubled. This error is quite rare, and that rarity is what gives the coin its value. The value of the 1995 double die quarter. So why does the 1995 double die Washington quarter have such a high value? Simply put, it's because era coins, especially ones with such a noticeable and rare flaw, are highly sought after by collectors. As with most era coins, the value is driven by a combination of factors, including the rarity of the error, the condition of the coin, and the demand in the market. The 1995 Washington quarter with the double die obverse can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. However, some of the more well-preserved examples have sold for over $1 million at auction. In fact, one of these coins fetched as much as $1.2 million in a recent sale, making it one of the most expensive quarters ever sold. The reason these coins can be worth so much is that they are incredibly difficult to find. Most of the quarters that were minted in 1995 didn't have the error, so only a very small number of these double die quarters are circulating today. Coin collectors love these rare errors because they add an extra layer of value and intrigue to a collection. How to identify the 1995 double die quarter. If you're wondering how to tell if you've found one of these rare 1995 double die Washington quarters, here's what you need to look for. 1. Doubling on the obverse. The most significant feature of this coin is the doubling on the obverse, especially around the date, the word liberty, and in God we trust. If you look closely, you'll see that the inscriptions appear to have a shadow or ghosting effect, which is the result of the double strike. 2. Magnification. The doubling is often very subtle, so you might need a magnifying glass or a loupe to see it clearly. You'll want to carefully examine the areas around the date and the inscriptions on the front of the coin to spot the doubling. 3. Condition matters. While the error itself is important, the condition of the coin also plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins in excellent condition with sharp doubling are worth significantly more than those with worn or faded features. Coins that have been graded in high mint state conditions can sell for astronomical prices. The potential for profit. Finding a 1995 double die quarter could be a life-changing moment for a coin collector, but it's not just about the thrill of discovery. If you happen to come across one, there's a good chance that you could sell it for a substantial amount of money. To give you an example, some of these coins have sold for $100,000, $500,000, or even $1.2 million at auctions. These sales have made headlines in the numismatic community and have shown just how much collectors are willing to pay for rare era coins. If you do happen to find one of these coins, your next step would be to have it professionally graded by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. Getting your coin graded will help establish its authenticity and condition, which will help determine its market value. Once graded, you could sell it through a coin dealer or an auction house that specializes in rare coins. Many well-known auction houses, such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, have sold similar rare coins for record prices. Conclusion. To sum up, the 1995 Washington quarter dollar may seem like an ordinary coin at first, but there's a rare and valuable version out there that can be worth up to $1.2 million or more. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these coins, you could be holding a highly sought-after era coin that could make you a small fortune. Remember, the key to finding a valuable coin is to always pay attention to the details. Inspect your coins closely, and never overlook the possibility of an error. If you're a coin collector, this is the kind of discovery that makes the hobby so exciting. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more content like this. And as always, feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. We love hearing from you and sharing the world of numismatics. Thanks for watching, and good luck finding your $1 million quarter. Outro. Until next time, take care and keep collecting. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of rare coins or just love learning about the fascinating world of numismatics, you're in for a real treat today. In this video, we're going to explore one of the most exciting finds in coin collecting, the 1998 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this might seem like just another ordinary coin, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Some of these coins are worth up to $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, a quarter that can fetch millions. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into the history, value, and what makes the 1998 Washington quarter so special. Let's get started. A quick history of the Washington quarter. Before we focus on the 1998 quarter specifically, let's take a moment to appreciate the Washington quarter as a whole. The Washington quarter has been part of U.S. currency since it was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by artist John Flanagan, the coin features a portrait of George Washington on the obverse, front, and an eagle on the reverse, back. Over the years, the design of the coin has remained largely unchanged, making it one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. In 1998, the Washington quarter was still circulating in large numbers, just like it had been for decades. By this time, it had become an essential part of daily transactions. But what really sets the 1998 Washington quarter apart from others is a rare error that makes it worth a small fortune. The 1998 Washington quarter, what makes it special? At first glance, the 1998 Washington quarter looks like any other regular quarter. It features George Washington's profile on the obverse, and the reverse side showcases the familiar eagle. However, some specific 1998 quarters have a rare and valuable feature that makes them stand out. They were struck with the minting error known as the double die obverse. A double die error happens when a coin is struck twice by the same die, but slightly misaligned on the second strike. This results in doubling on some of the details on the coin. The most notable areas where this can be seen on the 1998 quarter are the date and the words Liberty and In God We Trust. The doubling makes the lettering and date appear blurry or ghosted, which is what makes these error coins so highly prized by collectors. Why is the 1998 Washington quarter so valuable? You might be wondering, why is the 1998 Washington quarter worth so much money? The answer lies in the rarity of the minting error. While billions of Washington quarters were struck in 1998, only a small number were affected by the double die obverse error. This small percentage of misprinted coins makes the 1998 double die quarter extremely rare. What really drives up the value of these error coins is their condition. Coins that are in pristine or near mint condition are worth far more than those that have been worn or damaged over time. The best examples of the 1998 double die quarter are those with clear, sharp doubling that is easy to see, especially on the date and the inscriptions. How to identify a 1998 double die Washington quarter? Now, the big question, how can you tell if you have one of these rare and valuable 1998 double die Washington quarters? Fortunately, it's not that hard to identify once you know what to look for. Here's how you can spot the double die error. 1. Look for doubling on the date. The most noticeable place to check for doubling is the date on the obverse. If you see two distinct layers of the digits in the year 1998, then you might have a double die error coin. The numbers will look ghosted or appear in a slightly offset position. 2. Check the word Liberty. Another area where doubling often occurs is on the word Liberty. The letters should be sharp and clear, but if there's doubling, they'll appear slightly shifted, making them look blurry or duplicated. 3. Examine In God We Trust. The same thing applies to the motto In God We Trust. If the coin has a doubling error, you'll notice that these words are not cleanly struck, and there may be a noticeable shift in the letters. 4. Use magnification. The doubling can be subtle, so you'll likely need a magnifying glass or a loupe to identify it clearly. A close-up look will help you confirm whether the doubling is present and whether it's the kind of double die error that makes the coin valuable. 5. Condition is key. As with any collectible coin, condition matters. Coins that show minimal wear and are free of scratches, discoloration, or other damage will be worth significantly more. If your 1998D quarter is in mint state or close to it, you could be holding a small fortune. How much is the 1998D double die Washington quarter worth? Now comes the fun part. Just how much is a 1998D double die Washington quarter worth? The value of these error coins can vary widely depending on a few factors, including their condition, the degree of doubling, and the current market demand. In general, a 1998D double die Washington quarter can sell for anywhere from a few $1,000s to well over $100,000. In the case of high-quality examples with clear, sharp doubling, the price could skyrocket even higher. Some particularly rare coins have been known to sell for $1.3 million at auction. The value is influenced by how much collectors are willing to pay for such a rare and historically significant coin. Of course, most 1998D quarters won't fetch that much, but it's definitely worth checking your collection or spare change to see if you have one of these valuable error coins. Even in less than perfect condition, a 1998D double die quarter could still be worth a significant amount of money. Where to sell a 1998D double die quarter? If you think you found a valuable 1998D double die Washington quarter, you may be wondering where to sell it. There are a few options for getting the best price. 1. Professional coin dealers. A reputable coin dealer can give you an honest appraisal of the coin's value. They can help you determine whether it's a genuine double die error and how much it might be worth. 2. Coin auctions. Auctions are another excellent place to sell rare coins. Well-known auction houses, like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, specialize in high-value coins and can help you get top dollar for your 1998D double die quarter. 3. Online marketplaces. If you prefer selling online, you can list the coin on websites like eBay. Be sure to include clear, detailed photos and a thorough description of the coin's condition and error. Professional grading can also help attract serious buyers. 4. Coin shows. Coin shows are a great place to network with collectors and dealers. You might find a buyer willing to pay a premium price for your 1998D double die quarter. Conclusion. To sum up, the 1998D Washington quarter dollar is far more than just another ordinary coin. Thanks to the rare double die error, some of these coins are worth a small fortune. If you find a 1998D double die quarter in your collection or pocket change, you could be holding a coin worth $1.3 million or more. The rarity of this coin, combined with its historical significance and the condition of the coin, makes it a highly sought-after piece in the numismatic world. If you think you've found one, be sure to have it professionally graded to get an accurate assessment of its value. Whether you choose to sell it or keep it, the 1998D double die quarter is definitely a coin to hold onto. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more exciting coin content, and click the notification bell so you never miss out. Happy coin hunting, and good luck finding that rare coin worth a fortune. Outro. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep your eyes peeled for those rare finds.